All right, YouTube, back in the shop. So today we're going to, and as you can tell, quite a bit different green. Something tells me this primer is it's not a different batch, it's a different primer, because I also noticed that this is a more glossy. It's got a little bit slicker finish to it. So today what we're gonna do is try to get these flap and aileron gap seal or whatever. We're going to try to get these riveted in today and everything. And so yeah, it's not rocket science today. So we're just going to get these gap seals in and get those riveted on, which, as you can see, there's quite a few rivets. I'd say a couple hundred or so that we have to do. So, and then here along the edge, there's a different, wow, this is gonna be fun. There's a different rivets here that will have to be done. And so yeah, it's gonna be a fun day. Riveting we will go. All right, YouTube, there we go. Gap fairings are in. The gap fairings, this would be the flap gap fairing here. And then the aileron gap fairing is there. So they're in. It is definitely a different color. So the paint, I have to go look at that. It's just different. One was a gallon. It was purchased about a year ago, and this one was purchased just recently. So yeah, I kind of like this green better though than the military green or olive green. I don't know. It is what it is. Maybe I ordered olive. I got to go look at the original, but hey, I like it. I like it. A few things. These rivets here were pretty self-explanatory. You can do them with your squeezer. These rivets along this edge here, you can do with your squeezer. These here, it's hard to get the squeezer in here. This is where the rib is and the squeezer kind of butts up. So those are really difficult to go. You can buck them if you want to, or if you have extra money, I would highly recommend this guy. This is an alligator squeezer, and it's really great for getting into these spaces because you can hold it out away from the part this way and kind of wedge in there like that instead of being like that. So you can kind of come into it at an angle. Highly recommend these. If you watch them on eBay, they're called alligator pneumatic squeezers, rivet squeezers. If you can get one, it's awesome. I bought this one for like 1/8 the cost off of eBay, and they even threw in a bunch of sets. Now, what's really cool about this alligator squeezer, this thing puts out about 10,000 pounds per square inch, where this guy's only 3. This guy will do your 3/16, the bigger rivets. If you guys remember when we did the fuel tank and we needed to rivet a bigger rivet, and here, I just happen to have one right here on the floor. I had one out and it must have fell. But this will rivet the bigger rivets as well without any issue. So if you happen to have some extra money, highly recommend it. This is really great for getting into those corners where you can't get this guy in. And I don't have the sets on here, but you know, there's a lot of material here. See how that won't let you get in there and everything, where this alligator squeezer will. So it is a really, really nice investment. You will use it, trust me. I wish I had that one. I wish I used that one more than what I did. And everything. And like I said, it will squeeze the bigger rivets without any issue. I mean, look at the heads on this thing. I mean, the sets. If here's a standard 470 rivet, you know, that just kind of gives you an idea of, it won't even sit in there. Let's see if I get to see. I mean, that's how much more rivet you can squeeze with that guy. That's about, like I said, that puts out about 9,000 to 10,000 pounds per square inch. Considerably larger than another one. So, yep, so we got this all squeezed in. This is ready to go. And and everything. I am still waiting, as we discussed. I'm getting the Dynon pitot tube, which will and bracket, which I was told will be in the mail today. So that will be here. So we'll get that Dynon in there, and then we can't skin the. We won't be able to run our skins yet, except we could probably do this skin. We can't do the main skin because we still got to do the fuel tanks. You guys know the saga behind that. But hey, instead of getting a bunch of lemons, let's make some lemonade. And like I said, I'm going to do a whole series of videos on the fuel tanks and the proper way of doing them. Not saying that Van's way is improper. It works, but it is not, I don't want to say, how do I say this? Industry standard way of doing it. And like I said, I've spoken extensively with PPG, the maker of Pro Seal and everything. And let's talk about Pro Seal. So this is the one thing that I did get about Pro Seal. When using Pro Seal does not like ethanol gas. I will tell you that right now. So if you do Pro Seal and you're going to go to a MoGas, you have to use regular, no ethanol. The Pro Seal does not, and they basically said any kind of gasket material for fuel tanks will not take auto fuel with ethanol. Now you can get just regular gas. So anything with ethanol in it is a no-no. It will eat the seals up. So there you go. That question was answered. So with that being said, like I said, what we're going to do is, I should have the bracket for the pitot tube. So we'll get that installed, and it goes one rib over is typically how they install it. This is the bracket for the ailerons, and so it's one bracket over, so it goes right here. The reason why they put it here is because there is an attachment or an inspection hatch that goes right here, so you can get into it and do it. And I've seen guys, and I'm just going to do like what everybody else has done. I'm just going to mount the unit. Because it is an AOA / heated pitot tube, so I'm going to mount the unit here. I got to keep this bottom lightning hole open from this point back because there's the push rod for the ailerons come through here, but I'm going to mount the actual control unit here and then the pitot tube here. And then as far as for the electrical and everything, I'm going to use these lightning holes here to run the electrical. I have 2 runs of electrical. I'm going to have one for the pitot AOA, and then I'm going to have one going out for the zip tips. And then we'll get those ran, and I'll show you the brackets and the tubing, and when we get there, we'll discuss that. So yeah, I'm going to go back through and QA stuff like this, just kind of go through, make sure I'm not leaving any pieces, kind of like a surgeon. You don't want to leave rivets and stuff inside your patient. So I'm going to go do that. But yeah, it was be leery. Don't make a mistake I made. I didn't realize. So you have to use a 7, 8, or a 8, pretty long rivet for this guy here. Yeah, you make sure you don't use, I mixed them up. You use a 5. I use 5s. Now, along here, they tell you to use 4s, -4s. I use -5s. And I measured it, and it actually seems to me to be a better choice. It's up to you. I use -5s, and they worked out really well and everything. Yeah, a little out of weight, I don't know. So yeah, so the little bit longer rivet. I'm finding that a lot of Vans plans, you can look at them, or you probably need to look at them to see about using a rivet up a little bit higher, depending on your fluting and stuff. See how, because it's fluted, what you've done is kind of push it. So, I mean, it's totally up to you. There's been a couple times where I've made an audible and went to, you never want to go a rivet lower. You can go a rivet higher. And you know you'll have too much rivet if you start folding over the rivet. Then you know you got way too much rivet. So that's the main thing there as far as that goes. So yeah, so I'm going to go through here, QA, pull all my parts out of the spar, off the spar here, because you use it as a table because we're lazy, and everything. So yeah, that's about it. So next time when we get back into the shop, which might be later on today, this evening, I'm going to start those electrical runs, get the conduit done, and then we'll talk about that. I'll help you save a lot of money because, building an airplane is not cheap and everything. So stay tuned. And like always, may God bless. Keep you guys safe.